right. So we are live here on Couch Coach Live. So obviously, we normally this is different, difference as far as to this time. So got to do some breaking news. This news just came across the wire about an hour before we started the show. So unfortunately, the legendary basketball coach at Indiana University, Texas Tech, and Army, Bob Knight, passed away today at the age of 83. So a couple things, of his legacy. Three-time national champion. Arguably probably coach one of the best teams in college football. College basketball. The 1976 Hoosiers that went undefeated. 902 wins as a coach at Army, Indiana, Texas Tech as well in his three teams that he coached. A lot of players, past, present, that were under Bobby Knight. I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, got one of a coaching legend passed away. So what are your thoughts on the passing of Bob Knight?
Oh man, just a legend. 1984, coached the gold medal team in LA. When I think of Bob Knight, I always think of Isaiah Thomas. My brother's named after Isaiah Thomas. So, yeah. I know he was a hothead. So, you know what I mean? That's one of the main things. But, just one of those passionate basketball coaches that wanted to play the game a specific way and extremely successful when it came to college basketball. Iconic.
For sure. I think it's one of those where it's like it when we talk about an old school coach, that's who we think of. You look at somebody who was hard nosed, disciplined, got in players' faces, and got the best out of them. And it's one of the things when we always look at these type of situations. I know, like for me, when someone passed, not just a legendary basketball coach like Bob Knight today, but in anybody's life as far as the impact they've had on others. And now you look at just the impact and you think about everything. I even think about like the student managers that he's had before. I mean, obviously look at the success of like Lawrence Frank, who's now the president of the LA Clippers. You look at Dusty May. He was a student manager one time. He's the coach at Florida Atlantic that just led his team to a Final Four last year. So you look at and you think about him being under the tutelage, him pretty much grooming Coach K. I mean, at Army. So you look at when you think about Coach K, pretty much his coaching influences came from a guy like a Bobby Knight. You look at guys in the pros. I mean, I think about guys like Calvert Cheney, like that, and even now you think present day. You talk about Isaiah Thomas as well.
Right.
And then even think about the current head coach at Indiana, Mike Woodson, who obviously was former NBA coach, and he was under with Indiana in the late 70s, early 80s. So it's a lot. I mean, you look at then even Steve Alford, what he's done, especially what he's doing now in Nevada. He led that team last year to at the tournament, but they went in the first four or whatever. But you just look at just the impact he has had throughout his coaching tenure. Look at the guys that I just list off the top of my head. There's so many other guys that that has had a tremendous impact under the tutelage of Bobby Knight. But it's one of those things that 2023, man, it's been that year when especially in the world of sports for sure. But yep. And then the crazy thing about it all is he just celebrated his 83rd birthday last week. Birthday was the 25th.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. So what we'll do, we're gonna kick that intro where we we'll go on with the rest of the show. Instead, give our thoughts on the passing of Bobby Knight. So what we'll do, take that quick intro, and we'll be right back here on Couch Coach Live. And before we get started, man, definitely huge. You know, prayers up to our guy Big Kirko. Successful surgery this morning. So Big Kirko tore the Achilles, had his surgery this morning. You can be back in better than ever, baby. Get your 50 million this offseason. We rooting for you, Big Kirko, and get well, Big Kirko. So we're here, right? So we gotta talk about it. They didn't fail for some bizarre reason. They will always find a news story in inopportune times of just regardless. So, obviously the breaking news of the day that happened pretty much while most of us were sleeping in the East Coast. So news broke around about 1 o'clock East Standard Time, 1 o'clock a.m. East Standard Time, about 10 o'clock out in Las Vegas, where Josh McDaniels and also general manager Dave Ziegler was fired. You look at McDaniels, pretty much fired after 25 games with a 9-16 record. He was in the midst of a 6-year contract, so he's a year and a half into his 6-year contract. Gets fired along with the general manager. So in replace, Antonio Pierce will be the interim head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. If you're familiar with the 07 Giants, he was a part of that team. If you're a Commanders fan, you remember him back in the early 2000s, from 2001, 2004. There, and obviously, was upgraded. He was the linebackers coach prior to with the Raiders. So you look at that, he gets, now he gets the interim tag. But then also, Champ Kelly is another one. He'll be the interim general manager for the Las Vegas Raiders. So, wow, we really got a Schefter bomb in the middle of the night. So, what are your thoughts on Josh McDaniels out?
If there ever was a person that shouldn't be a head coach, I guess it's Josh McDaniels. Like, I mean, it's so much there. Like, as you text me this and said we're gonna lead with this, I was looking at some stuff and they were just like, they got Josh McDaniels so they can score some points. He traded for Jimmy G, and Jimmy G either look hurt and he's not looking as healthy. And you would think with Josh McDaniels and Jimmy G that they would be success. Then you got Adams, and he wanted to play with Derek Carr. It's just so much there, and they're blowing. It's been a lot. It's been really rough for the Raiders the last few years. But we're talking about Josh McDaniels, and it's just like he handed you everything, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's like some dudes need to be guided for success, and I think he's just one of those gentlemen that needs to be guided for some type of success. You know what I mean? I mean, Derek Carr just had 300 yard games.
I think so.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And Jimmy G could barely, so just ain't working out. And then the best player's not happy, and he has the right to not be happy, That's really as much as I could say, man. It's just like, I feel like I was watching Denver again when he coached Denver, And that's why I said some guys are coordinators, and that's just their success. When you, like Antonio Pierce was like, when you are a head coach, you have to do a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things, a lot of things you have to handle, and it just seemed like they're just not settling in.
Yeah, this one thing where we always, when they come to these coaches, these recycled coaches, you got 2 shots at it.
Right.
You only got 2 shots, and he had a shot almost literally 10 years apart from each other.
Right.
And I mean, am I surprised he got fired? Yeah, at this stage in the game. I mean, obviously the embarrassing loss on Monday Night Football probably kind of helped elevate the situation. I definitely, as far as thinking that he was going to be the first coach in the NFL to get fired, during the season. I wouldn't have put, I wouldn't have hedged my bet on that. I think I would have been kind of one of those where it's like, yeah, I doubt it. But and then you just look at the GM is, obviously that's another one where him and Ziegler like close at the hip, and you just look at what they've done. I mean, you think about just some fact of letting Derek Carr go. Darren Waller's out the door.
Right.
The Jimmy G experiment has failed. Now you're gonna turn into, now you're gonna have Aiden O'Connell essentially be the quarterback of this football team. And then you look at even a guy like a Hunter Winthrop, where, to me, a lot of people, he was probably one of the best slot receivers in the game. In my personal opinion, he could have that potential. I think Hunter Winthrop is a dog. He's not even getting in a place. Really see him doing this thing there in Oakland. I mean, not Oakland, but Las Vegas. But kudos to Antonio Pierce. I'm definitely excited that he gets this opportunity. I think people quiet as kept. I know a lot of people, especially with the Herm Edwards situation in Arizona State, almost kind of forgot how instrumental Antonio Pierce was to their success at Arizona State, and he was pretty much on his way to become where he's going to be current day. So I'm definitely happy for him. Obviously, his Washington Commanders roots, and then also with the Giants, and then even with Champ Kelly. You just look at somebody like him. It's one of the things where this isn't a guy that just like fly by night. I mean, some people may have heard about him last night, but I mean, he's been in this league for nearly almost 17 years, between being a director of scouts, all different various positions between the Broncos, the Bears, and he having this opportunity. And it's one of the things where I just hope that the Raiders essentially can be somewhat successful and these guys can retain these jobs. And that's one thing too, in having these two, Champ Kelly and also Antonio Pierce connected at the hip. As I always say, when it comes to building football teams, your general manager and your head coach need to be connected at the hip. So hopefully this could be a combination that can stay. And and kudos to Mark Davis. I think that's one of the things where that's a gutsy, that's a ballsy move to make, especially 4.5 years into a contract. I mean, he's done it before, but he was kind of forced with Gruden. But huge shout out to him, and then and Josh McDaniels, man, keep getting that money. You got 4 years, of checks coming. So, Merry Christmas to you. Christmas is coming early for you. You ain't got to worry about no stress, and get your money. Get your money, Josh.
So, what if it was the opposite? What if they put Josh McDaniels to be the offensive coordinator and then have Pierce as the head coach? You think they'd have success?
You mean if they demoted him?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You don't think so?
I mean, that's something you can't do, because I
know you can't. It's just a what if question. And the reason I'm saying
that
is because there's some guys. It's like even in music, you make great music, you can sing good and blah blah blah. But for some reason, when you put an album out, you a producer and writer for everybody else. You're great, and then you put your own out, and you're like, man, I don't really like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think that he's a coordinator, and that's probably where he needs to stay at.
And there's a job for him, unfortunately, in New England.
Yeah,
but if I'm McDaniels, what year? The 2023? You would not see me on the NFL sidelines until 2028. I'm out. But yeah, and huge shout out to our guy Tony Three Savant. Great show, fellas. Facts. Mark Davis is trying to win, and for sure, yeah,
we should be,
and that's how you're supposed to do it.
You should be. You're in Vegas. Yeah. You got, what I'm saying. And then not even that fit back. You in Vegas. It's Raiders have fans across. It's one of those franchises that got friends across the planet. Especially if you're a West Coast fan. You know what I mean? Like from LA and this and that, and people just love the Raiders, just like they love the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Commanders, the on and on, Patriots.
Yeah.
And you get tired of losing, and you need to win, man.
Yeah, and you need to fill them seats, because that's another thing too. With having, and that's one thing my biggest fear when I knew the Raiders was moving to Las Vegas, like how they're not going to essentially have a home field advantage, because Las Vegas is a tourist city, so it's kind of like case in point. When y'all played them a few weeks ago, I mean, that place was cloaked in black and gold. Pretty much any East Coast team, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Regardless, and that's just how it is. And that's one thing I kind of always was like. I like the lure of Las Vegas, but then a part of me is like, they're not gonna have that home field advantage like they did in Oakland, because obviously, most people, that live in Nevada don't care about the damn Raiders. Because most of them aren't residents per se, but it is what it is. But The first coaching domino has fell in the
And you said
National
you
Football
shocked.
League.
Are you shocked just because of his contract, or are you shocked? Like
The timing.
I'm not. I'm
The,
not.
the
I'm
timing.
not. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
The timing. I think the timing of it, and I can understand even with that Monday Night Football loss. It's kind of one of the things where I figure he'd probably be out by the end of the season. I did not think, Halloween night. Well, really, November 1st. Ain't even Halloween and already passed. November 1st, we have, this is what happened to him. But
Right.
it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, and this is smart because this is a strategic move where, so we gonna figure out, and that's one thing that's gonna be really interesting in the offseason with this Raiders team as far as what they do going forward, with this change. So yeah. But yeah, Aiden O'Connell, you up next.
Right.
You up next, man.
Right.
So yeah. So what we're gonna do? Actually, we'll stay in the National Football League. We'll do that. We'll stay in the National Football League with this one, might as well. So we'll talk about the yard sale that I call that is the Washington Commanders that happened essentially yesterday on and trade deadline was yesterday at 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. And Washington Commanders were very heavy in that transactional market on Tuesday. The first domino was Montez Sweat being traded to the Chicago Bears for a second round pick. And also Chase Young was traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a third round pick. So thoughts on it? What you got?
I believed in the Commanders. I felt like y'all could have snuck in somehow in the end, and I was just shocked that they got rid of Sweat and Young. But then as we got ready for the show, a lot of people was just saying like it was the best thing for them. So I'm guessing as an organization, they were doing them a favor. You know what I mean? Because clearly it was like they couldn't afford both of them. From what they say, they couldn't afford both of them, and I'm just really shocked they let Chase Young go because I thought he represented the future of the Commanders because him and I'm being honest, this is just me talking. Him and Heineke went through some of the worst times with you guys. You know what I'm saying? When y'all got won a division championship, and then all the way through to now, where what y'all been waiting for from the name change and getting a new owner, and they both gone. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes these franchise got to understand. You got to have some of those players that understand when you were low and the possibilities of moving forward. You know what I mean? So I don't know how I'm really from some of the ex Redskins and Washington football team and Commander fans folks said this is what they've always done. They've always done things like this and get rid of things that we really, really need and give money to ones that we really don't need. So when this happened, I couldn't wait to talk to you to get your take. But I do know that you got a new owner. He seems very opportunist, and they seem like they really want to come in and move forward and build the team how they want it. So, Coach, I want to know how you feel.
I think the trade was necessary. It was crazy because I think, and it's crazy because obviously the other podcast on Commanders in the Chat, we talked about this last Thursday as far as team who we thought was going to be more likely to be traded, and I thought it was going to be Montez Sweat because at the time Montez Sweat was getting more offers and getting more, as far as the compensation seemed like it was a bit more better in that sense. So I figured it was either going to be Montez or Chase. I thought they would keep either one or the other, but they got rid of both. I mean, the Montez Sweat thing, I think that's going to be a great deal for us because obviously that's a second round pick, and you look at how bad the Bears are in the sense where they, as far as that's probably going to be a top 40 pick. I mean, then that's just being generous. We'll get a top 40 pick from that Montez Sweat because you probably think to themselves they're still in a good spot because the Bears still got two. They got the Carolina pick and then they got their pick, their first round.
And they got Cap.
Yeah, so with that, I kind of understand why they I know a lot of people was saying, why the Bears kind of get rid of a guy of that nature. The Chase Young situation, I, I I didn't like that he's going to San Francisco. I mean, honestly, the whole him going to San Francisco
I'm
because
not
I like
shocked.
because a part of me I don't like it because I think about like Trent Williams where he went there as well and they kind of got themselves together. I mean, I get why the Washington Commanders did what they had to do because now you look at the fact now you have 9 draft picks, $90 million in cap space. So to me, that's gonna be really attractive to whoever's gonna be this new head coach and this new general manager of this football team. That's gonna be very, very intriguing to say, hey, well, you got 9 draft picks, and it might be more. Just never know how this all gonna play out, and so I definitely, it was needed. I think that's one thing where that's what happens when you have a new sheriff in town, which is Josh Harris and his group. They're gonna try to make a splash, and this happens often where you got rid of pretty much your 2 highest tradable assets that you can possibly get, and you just get them out of here. And I think that's where like unfortunately the best thing about it, because obviously you do from a personal standpoint it does suck because Montez and Chase, I think they were still good guys, but I mean it is what it is. But yeah, I just think they did what they what they wanted to do. They so I think it's definitely gonna be a job that's gonna probably, I wouldn't necessarily say it'll be one of the top job because who just don't know who's gonna get fired at the end of the season. But as far as this looking like kind of one of those job offers that I think is really enticing. I think going forward. But yeah.
Well, Josh McDaniels is out there.
He ain't going. No, Josh McDaniels ain't coming to Washington. That's never gonna happen.
But I was just shocked that I traded him to the 49ers. I was like, that's what y'all are. Y'all are so loyal. Like that's all you ever say, to our, Washington Commander alumni Kyle Shanahan. I was like, man, they give that boy everything. He gets everything, man. Like I'm not shocked at all. Like I remember last year when they got McCaffrey, I was like, well, damn. And then they was going through the roast, didn't want to pay Debo, but they just busy getting everybody.
Yep. And then having him on the other edge with his former college teammate Nick Bosa, it's gonna be a problem. So yeah, but
Cleaning is on the team, Farrell.
Yeah. Yep. They got KD. They sold us a dream, and then we bought it. Only be out there shortly afterwards. Not mad though. We had to cut the rope and save ourselves. Yeah. Yeah, because we wouldn't have been able to pay both. So. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's just the business, But the only thing about the situation is, these guys, whoever's gonna be the second round pick and the third round pick, they're gonna have to have an impact on this football team next year. I mean, it's all about drafting right. I mean, you can get all the picks all you want to, but you gotta draft right. And I think whoever comes in, they better have a good knack for talent because you can't screw this up. You can't, guys who, you gave up so much. These picks need to be worth something. So, yeah.
What Torrey said? He was like, man, they just trying to get Deion Sons. I said, nah, they're gonna be there for about another year. Nah.
You got a quarterback. We got a quarterback.
I know. I'm just.
We're good. Yeah, we're good. We ain't got a quarterback. Yeah, we got a quarterback. Yeah.
Hey, I don't want to say he's better than mine. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I know this is not part of the show, but I feel like we don't have really no hard veterans on my Steelers team like we used to. Like somebody that just came from and they passed the torch to. I don't feel that on this. I mean, we got Watt, but I just don't feel that like I should. You know what I mean? And I feel like we got some weapons on our offensive, like our receivers and running backs. And I just feel like if you're not going to use them like they should be used, get rid of them and get us something that we could use to make the team better. Because if you can't pass them the ball and if you cannot run the ball, then you got to get something. You know what I mean? Like you got to do something, man. You got to do something.
Boy.
Yeah, man, because I'm like, you got Pickens out there that is nasty, and I'm looking at him like, oh, he way better than what he's showing. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
they can't really give him the ball. They can't really give him the ball. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is something, man. But yeah, but Josh Harris, he was busy yesterday, but he was busy a few hours, hours prior to it, where obviously, Josh Harris is
Right.
the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers as well. Obviously, and this happened, I want to say, late Monday night, another one where um, within that crazy time at night, Tuesday morning, this actually happened Tuesday morning, where James Harden was traded to the LA Clippers. So the Clippers received James Harden, PJ Tucker, and Philip Pitzer. They got him. And then the 76ers received Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, KJ Martin, a 2028 first round pick that's unprotected, two second round picks, and a 2029 pick swap. Um, what was your thoughts on this trade? Who was your biggest winner and between the Clippers and the Sixers?
The Sixers is the biggest winners. Um, I like James Harden, but man, he's another one. He get whatever he wants,
Yep.
whatever he wants, and I don't understand how he get whatever he wants. I'm like, man, I'd have sent him to damn Charlotte or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sending him over there to Portland. I wouldn't have sent him. But it is what it is. When you really think about the Clippers, sometimes that's exactly how it is. It's almost like that's where the retirees go. but
Yeah.
but I ain't trying to be dip. But anyway, I don't I don't know, man. I'm just trying to figure out. I was watching today. They was talking about running like four guards and not really having a four, and I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at Westbrook and him, and everybody like Westbrook is a great leader, blah blah blah. Westbrook is coming off the bench for real now. You know what I mean? Because Harden, I think you can control a little bit more than Westbrook. You know what I mean? you know,
Yeah.
but I don't know, bro. Shout out to Kenyon Martin though. He seemed like he was happy for his son, but he looked a little distraught that his son. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. And it just shows you the human element of it,
Right.
where people look at it from, KJ, is a second generation NBA guy, and you think about it to yourself, like, yeah. And that's what people, and that's why I like how he broke it down in the sense.
Mm.
And really, and of course, went down a rabbit hole, and a lot of people was having comments, and like making fun of Kenyon Martin. I'm thinking to
Mm.
myself, I gotta understand that's a father and a son, like, and to think
Right.
that he even said, and it won't even. He was more sad about the siblings, the kids
Right.
that don't
Right.
they don't know that the NBA is a business.
Mm-hmm.
That they so used to seeing KJ coming home,
Mm-hmm.
having dinner with them, and because they lived in the same neighborhood, but
Right.
now they cross country. So
Right.
it just shows you that human element. So
And
I
you
was
pay
glad he
attention.
brought that up.
Right, and you pay attention to most of the dudes that is from LA, they want to be back in LA. You know what I mean? Like they want to be back there with family. Most like Chris Webber's like, nah, I ain't trying to go back to Detroit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain places they like, nah, I want to go back home. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't know why they making fun of him because you're not gonna do that to him in his face. That's the whole
right.
thing. You're really
Right.
not.
Yeah,
I feel for
it's
him
internet.
because you would never think you would see that side to him either. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You'll never think you see
Yeah.
Kenyon Martin have that type of emotion like that, and it just show you behind the scenes that he with his son. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And how much he love his son, and he know this is part of it. I gotta let go. And like he said, you're going to Nick Nurse,
Yeah.
man. I like Nick Nurse. I really, really do. And I think he's a
Mm-hmm.
player's coach, and I think he can develop young players better than most coaches can do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I can't. I'm kind of excited to see how he gonna put this team together because when it comes to James Harden, he really got his success from playing a certain style of basketball, and that was that Mike D'Antoni style. Really, no defense, fast pace, up and down the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, I looked at his stats; they all around the same. It ain't as low. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think in theory it'd probably be the 76ers who will win. I mean, if you look
Hmm.
at it on a surface level today, because just a simple fact of the biggest asset that was moved in this deal is the malcontent of it all. I mean, you think to yourself,
Hmm.
the 76ers, even though you might miss a guy like that with a scoring punch, but he's not available in the lineup. Like even what happened last week, like the drama circulated for him, trying to get on the bus to go, to get ready to get on the plane to go to Milwaukee last week. There was drama. They wanted him. They pretty much told him get off the plane, like you said, and that type of stuff. It is too early in the season to be having drama of this nature. Like it's crazy to think out of all the stuff. Me only like 3 or 4 games in. There's about There's more. They've had more. James Harden has had more headlines in a numeral sense than games they played. You had a situation with the unexcused. Well, first of all, not showing the training camp the first day. Then the whole situation. He come one day due to Ben Simmons come in one day just nilly willy, and then he did have the unexcused. I mean, he had the excused absence, which we
Hmm.
understood. That's cool. We understand. Everything that was going on with the family issues. Then when he comes back, they're telling him, "Hey, you can't get on the plane. You need to be conditioned and everything that relies on your condition, your success is in Philadelphia. So why are you coming to Milwaukee?" And then like it's just crazy. And then we're like, okay, where's James Harden? They're in this city, he's in Houston. And it's just like, all right, but I do like what the Sixers did get. I think from the standpoint, you do get some guys, some 3-and-D, like a 3-and-D guy like Batum, who can definitely
Hmm.
help defend. So I like that. Robert Covington, literally the same thing. Like they both great value 3-and-D guys, which is fine. It's great. And
Right.
KJ Bart, like you said, Nick Nurse is very high on KJ Bart. When he
Hmm.
during the draft process. So I like that. And then who knows what those draft picks are going to be. At this point. But the Clippers, the James Harden thing, and then you can even tell this is where James Harden is gonna be an issue because it should remind you. Like it's funny when I looked at Terrence Mann when he went in that, and when James Harden went in that locker room, it almost reminded me of how Tyrese Maxey be looking at him, especially his rookie year. Remember when Tyrese Maxey and him, they really didn't get along a lot that first year, and I'm just like, that's what it really reminds me of. And I think it is going to mess up their culture. Even though it's not really a culture with the Clippers. I mean, obviously, it is what it is.
Right.
But the thing about the situation is with James Harden, if he can just be consistent, and I hate saying this because if you probably can pull up probably since like 2019, I might have said this for the last 4 or 5 years, till I'm blue in the face. If he's on and he's consistent, this would be perfect for the Clippers. This is what they need. But we know he's going to be inconsistent. We know he's going to fold in big games, especially for a team like the Clippers, who haven't been in the situation. Obviously, they've been to the Western Conference Finals, but could you see him in a game 6 when they need a game in the Western Conference Finals? Could you see him performing and doing this thing? We haven't seen that yet, and that's kind of scary. So, but as a part of me, like you said, in that lineup, I do hate the fact that they did get rid of like Batum, but I'm glad they didn't get rid of like assets like Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, and Norman Powell. So I think they still can kind of keep their core, their bench,
Hmm.
and that's going to be definitely vital. And then I think PJ Tucker, he can somewhat be the answer to guard those fours, because I think that's going to be the biggest issue, like we said, because and I think Gilbert Arenas said it because it's like, this whole small ball thing, you think that mess gonna happen here, but it's like,
Yeah.
even with like Draymond, he was guarding fours when they had a
Right.
actual center.
Right.
Here, you got Zubac, but then who's that for? Who's gonna be that Draymond Green, which is gonna probably essentially gonna have to be PJ Tucker, but he's not gonna be in the starting lineup. And it's like, then they're
I
like, well,
forgot
who
about PJ
PG?
Tucker.
Yeah, so And even with that, you gotta understand. I hate to say this because we the same age, but bro, like 39 years old. You ain't 38, but I
I
mean, I think he's
know.
38. But I'm
You
just
know, I'm
saying,
a fan. I'm a big fan of PJ Tucker.
I like PJ. Yeah,
I just feel like PJ
I just
Tucker is
don't think.
important in the
Yeah,
playoffs. He's important in defensive player, and he don't get hurt a lot. You know what I mean?
yeah. And that's gonna be the issue with the Clippers because like it's like when you had those big lineups, like who's gonna be your four? Like if you playing like Denver, like who's gonna go on like Michael Porter Jr. I mean Michael Porter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Like who's gonna guard him? Like is it PG gonna guard him? KG? I mean not KG. Kawhi Leonard. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but they figured out, and luckily they got like a Ty Lue. So I think that's kind of comforting. Though that you still got like a guy like a Ty Lue who can still control the locker room. I think he has that legitimate shot. He obviously an NBA champion head coach. So I don't know, but I feel for the young guys. I feel for like Terrence, man. You can just look at his face, Bones howling, like those guys, like they're gonna, their minutes are gonna be stripped because, like you said, because someone is either
Excuse me.
Russ, because Russ probably gonna go on the bench potentially. I don't know how everything's gonna work out, but
Excuse me.
yeah, I just hate like this. Like you said, James Harden is getting away with us. I'm like, dude,
I think they
y'all
about to
letting
make
this
some.
man get away
They're
with
gonna have to
murder.
make some more moves, though, man. They're gonna have to make some more
They have
moves.
to,
They're gonna have to,
and
man.
I think they probably
Because
will.
I'm looking at Westbrook, and he already looking at him like, man, you need to stay over there. You know what I'm saying? He's like, stay on that side of the locker room.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's one thing and that was a really weird embrace, considering the fact that now this is the first this is the first time he comes into that locker room, and you would think this is like
Yeah, they weren't feeling that
it
shit.
was really bizarre and strange, and then Terrence Mann was just like this. He was just like
Right.
just all in
Truth
his
be
phone.
told, I hate to
Yeah,
say this,
man.
man. I keep forgetting that Houston got a new coach and new. He might wait shit and see if he can find his way to get to Houston. I think they could use him.
Keep telling you. I
I'm
keep
serious.
telling
I
you,
think they need it. Look,
don't mess
at
up
least he ain't.
eBay. We mm,
Hey, coach, I'm going to the strip club. Shoot, man, I want some wigs. Oh, they got the best. Do
yo,
it,
but no, that team too young. I don't want that to rub. I don't want all that to rub off on that young team. I because our part of me is like, low key. James Harden gonna have the ball, man. It's to a point where he run out of chances. This dude is like a cat. That got like
him,
9 lives, like for real, like
bro.
NBA lives.
They
Oh
him and Westbrook are parallel, man. Like I was sitting there
yeah,
thinking, now they right back together. It's like y'all should have just stayed together. You know what I mean? Y'all should have just stayed together. But now they right
y'all
back.
toxic.
And this just goes to show he has no other place to go to. Like we
Yeah,
all knew that he was trying to get to the 76. I said he trying to get with
yeah,
Dan. And even PJ Tucker, he
yeah,
found his way, got his championship and found his way
yeah.
right to Murray and now that stuff. And then I was like, and then they trade him to it's like
To the Clippers.
anyway. I he gonna get
Yeah,
forced. He gonna get forced out. He gonna get forced out the league.
yeah. I mean, for sure, because now it's like where he gonna go? Because I honestly don't. I think if he had his way, he would be in Houston. I don't think they want him in Houston. That's my thing, because I don't think that team is too young to have him there because he's when it comes to the leadership aspect of it, the OG running around like he 21.
Because that's what I'm sitting back here thinking. I'm like,
Right.
you got the Hornets, you got the Magic, and these are all possible. Let me tell you, this is the thing I think people aren't
Yeah.
realizing because I've been watching these games. All these veterans you can't be lackadaisical. They got 2 tournaments now. You got to play, and you need to get your coaches and your GMs to do lineups if you feel like you based upon the pace of your legs and your body because they about to have this tournament in a couple weeks, and we don't know how that's gonna set up. And then you got the
Hell
All
yeah.
Star game right there, then the trade deadline, and then you
Yeah.
got the playoffs. it is not. It's not going to be slow. Like
Yeah.
you better stop dragging your feet.
Jones tournament start to Friday.
The tournament start when?
Friday.
Oh, y'all got to stop dragging y'all feet. Like I'm watching
Man, I'm telling you,
I'm Anthony Davis. I hear you, 19 points. That's cool, 26. But you can't drag your feet, bro. Like y'all gonna mess around and you gonna be at the bottom, and you are gonna be like, man, we got to play hard again.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. Like I'm like, man. But the only way this gonna work on the Clippers end, James Harden gonna have to be consistent. He gonna have to literally play night in, night out. Give them about 20 plus,
right,
20 plus a night, and it can work. But I'm like, it's just get to a point where, like you said, he on his last life, man, NBA wise. Cause I'm like, where else can he go? Because at this point, if this doesn't work out, which we know this not gonna work out. I mean, we can sit here all day and think of positivity. This ain't gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. Like it's like if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's what the Clippers that's what the Clippers are doing. The situation should have worked in Brooklyn. Did it work? No, it did not.
It didn't, but they were hurt.
Right.
They were hurt.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
But what you think the Clippers team is gonna be? They gonna probably hurt half
the
season.
And honestly, that is really the biggest opportunity for him at Westbrook. That them two,
right?
Them two dudes are gonna get hurt because they always hurt.
Right. But that's the crux of it all. Because at the end of the day, James Harden has been healthy for the most part. But he's been inconsistent. Yeah. But then you go to a team where you got guys who are like that lineup is going to change day in, day out. You're going to probably have about multiple lineup changes throughout the course of this season. Like, it's not going to be all of them going to be on the court, all 82 games. Hell, we might be lucky if they be on the floor together for 25 games. Like, and seriously. And like you said, if it gets to that point, and that's what it's like, this not gonna work. Like we talked about the situation in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Philly didn't work. I mean, Philly, no, because where else? Houston. Okay, let's go back. I gotta go back. Houston, because that's when we had Chris Paul. That didn't work.
And you know what's funny? Just to pause right there. That was his real chance to win a championship. That next year, they were going to beat them that first year, but Chris got hurt.
Right.
And then you saw who he really is. He really don't want it. He really don't.
Right. And then, he goes to Brooklyn. Now, mind you, he goes there, Kevin Durant on the mend. This your team. This your spot. That didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Then you go to, you pack on that weight. Remember he packed on the weight and then forced his way out. Well, he forced his way out of Houston to go to Brooklyn. Then Brooklyn didn't work. He went to Philly, and it's like this ain't gonna work out. And that's the problem. Like you said, he as far as from a health standpoint, he can literally be the most consistent player on this basketball team. As far as from the starting five, as far as Russ, PG, and Kawhi.
I mean, truth be told, let me be honest with you. Let's say let's get rid of Leonard. Let's get rid of the 3 stars and have just Harden. With some of the dudes that they got with Powell, what's the other dude that come off the bench?
Hallen, Bones Hallen, and Terrence Mann.
Zupag and a few of them players, they actually would be nasty with the, you know what I'm saying? Because all them dudes play hard. With the coach that they got, they would be all right, and just get some supplementary players that can kind of not be Kawhi or Paul George, but or just, you know what I'm saying? They will actually be all right, but it's gonna be, because truth be told, I feel like Kawhi plays the way he plays, which he's nasty. He don't have to play that way. And that's probably why he get hurt so much, because they're trying to make him into this Tracy McGrady. Yeah, and they shouldn't. That's not him. Just let him play basketball. Ball. Yeah, and that's not him. He really like a Bruce, like a Klay Thompson type to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Clay can give you an easy 25, 30, and he played defense. Well, he used to play defense a specific way. I feel like that's Kawhi Leonard, man. But they trying to make him like a Tracy McGrady type. You know what I mean? And
Oh boy.
I think that's why he get hurt so much. You're using him in the wrong way. Think about if he was just more defensive minded type of player.
But yeah, man, it's getting to a point where this it because you only got one more shot, and if any other NBA GM trade for James Harden in this next future, you deserve to get fired on site. Like if we done seen this happen before, and ain't nobody learn from their lesson. And if somebody else do this again, you deserve a firing.
So I know we have to move on. The reason he left Houston, didn't he turn that money down?
Yeah, because he was due for the option. Yeah.
And so he decided to turn that money down.
Yeah. And then want to go back to Houston. But anyway, I'm chill.
And that's the problem with him. Westbrook should have stayed in with the Wizards, and he should have stayed at Houston. He should have stayed where he was at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so
Kawhi should have stayed in with the Raptors. Go ahead though.
I know, right? He should have stayed in Canada and got taxed twice. So yeah,
I knew it was a catch.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so we gotta talk about our game to watch this weekend. Our game to watch segment is powered by SeatGeek. So head over to SeatGeek, use the promo code CouchCoach to get yourself $20 off your first purchase. So if we talk about the games that your game of the week, hey, you want to go to that game? I got you. Couch Coach, get yourself $20 off. So who's your game to watch this weekend? Who you got?
Games to I got 3, man. I got the Cowboys versus the Eagles. The Seahawks, which nobody's really talking about. The Seahawks versus the Ravens. That's gonna be nasty. And then I got the college. I got Washington versus USC.
Okay. Yeah, I got an interesting morning game. So this is another one. This is another international game. Get up, everybody. I know we got daylight saving time, so we get an hour back. So you ain't got no excuse this weekend to get your butt off the bed, take your tail to the sofa, to the couch. You got to watch this Miami Kansas City game, man. This is, I think, could potentially be potential. Just saying potential. A potential AFC Championship game. You're looking at this Miami Dolphins team, the best offense in the league, almost averaging nearly 34 points per game. The Chiefs' defense is very stout, allowing 16.1 points per game defensively. They're second in the league. These pretty much the Chiefs and the Dolphins have literally the 3 best passing offenses. I think the Dolphins 1 and the Chiefs is 3. So you look at that matchup. I mean, it's gonna be a great matchup all over the place. The international game, I think this game will not disappoint. I know most of those international games aren't the best; they're not the sexy ones, but this might have that Chiefs versus Rams circa 2018 Mexico City type of flow. Get up, you got no excuse. You get an extra hour of sleep. Take care of this and sit on the couch, drink a cup of coffee. You be all right. Watch that game. So
you really think that the Kansas City, they're going to AFC? Did you see that last game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a blip in the road. I mean, it's a divisional opponent. It's a possibility. I mean, I said it's possible. I still think Cincinnati got a shot. I think now they're kind of getting themselves together. That's another game too where kind of we talk about as far as the possible AFC Championship game, the Bills and the Bengals. I mean, that's another one where if the Bills kind of get their act together, it's weird because now they kind of sliding. This might be one of the things where they kind of need something like this to kind of almost like, now what's the best word to say? stumble into the playoffs in a sense. So I think they
Mm-hmm.
might need something like that. To, in previous years they would have these double digit wins, and just doing their thing and just like dominate. This might be kind of one of those years. And Cincinnati, another one where they kind of came up, and also they beat San Francisco last week. So
Mm-hmm.
now this, and then you think to yourself, oh boy, it's another game. It's a it's a primetime game. I'm thinking, oh Lord, it's January 2nd all over. I'm like, it's scaring me. But it's and I think this is in Cincinnati too. And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. I'm serious, man. I be paranoid. I be paranoid. I be paranoid as hell, dog. Like that's like them demons be
Man, let
have
me
you
tell
think
you.
about stuff.
I thank God for my defense. I be so shocked when I see a good run on my team or a pass that's more than 10 yards. It's bad, bro. It's bad.
Yeah.
And
But yeah.
I don't think they're gonna fire him either, B.
But yeah, man, it is a trip, man. I swear, man. Like it is crazy. So we gotta do our pick 7. I always do pick 6, but that's pick 7. So we gotta go into our we took us on with a sabbatical, so we haven't done picks in nearly almost 3 weeks.
Really?
Because we didn't do one last week.
Yeah.
The previous week, we didn't do a show, so we haven't done one since like October, the early October. Because I know we didn't have a show that 17th, so it was like October 10th, I think. Okay. So it's been almost a month. So year to date, I'm still in the lead at 30-12, but you're roaring right back at 25-17. So we're going to our pick 7. So let me get that graphic up. So we got the number 23 Kansas State versus number 7 Texas. Who you got?
Texas.
UT. Yeah. A part of me want to go for the fight Miguel Powell's, but give me UT. So look at number 9 Oklahoma versus number 22 Oklahoma State. What you got?
Oklahoma.
Okay, I got Boomer Sooner as well. The fighting Adrian Peterson's. I did want to go for my guy Mike Gundy because he's a man. He's 40. He's not a child. So, but give me Oklahoma. So we got Missouri versus Georgia. Who you got?
I'm going with Georgia.
Okay. It's weird because obviously,
I knew it.
There's always something happens with the number 2 team when they have the new college football playoff rankings, and I feel it in my bones. I'm gonna give me Missouri. Give me the the Mizzou. Give me the fight Michael Porter Jr.'s.
Right.
And give me Mizzou.
Hopefully that helps me get closer to you.
We got LSU versus Alabama. Who you got?
Oh man, I pick LSU.
Okay. Give me Alabama. I think this kind of one of those wins is gonna kind of bring them back into the college football playoff ranking this time next week. So give me Alabama. Yeah, give me the fighting Forrest Gumps. So even though he's a fictitious character, but Forrest Gump went to Alabama. So let's talk a little NFL. So we got the Titans versus Steelers on a Thursday night football affair. How's it feel to be under the lights on Thursday night football? Turn on your app at 6:55.
Man, my paper, I picked the Titans, but I'm not picking them. I'm picking the Steelers.
Okay.
My quarterback's still hurt, isn't
he? They say he's supposed to play. He's projected to play.
I'm going with the Steelers.
I don't know. I thought to myself, even if you don't have Kenny Pickett, you got probably one of the most sharpest, fantastic backups in the league. My nephew Joe Montana Trubisky under the lights in Pittsburgh. I did want to do it, but the game that Will Levis had last week, I don't know if he's going to continue that 4 touchdown feat. But give me the Titans to win this game. But yeah, but if my nephew playing, I don't know.
Man, you better
Mitchell,
talk to
Joe
your
Montana,
nephew.
Trubisky.
You need to talk to him. We could have won that last game, but he want to sit there and stare down to three damn right in. Like, man, just throw it short, let him run. Like, you know what I'm saying? Want to do the big play, you know?
Yeah, man. It's
interception.
I blame that. I blame his development on Matt Nagy and Matt Canada, because ain't no way my nephew folding like this. If my nephew had some good coaching, he be tearing his league up. He be having some Will Levis type numbers.
Bama.
Hey, get him with somebody, because he was all right in Buffalo as a backup.
I'd rather them have Randolph out there. Randolph like, no, I'm good. Let me keep this headset up.
yeah, man. My nephew needs some good coaching. That's the problem. You got coach up.
Matt Canada, like he done aged worse than Obama did. Like I ain't never seen somebody.
Yeah, man.
Hey, people be cheering, they get a touchdown. People be cheering. He be sitting over there wiping the sweat off his forehead, like, oh my god.
You know, but hey, protect my nephew at all costs. So we got the Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs and Frankfurt, Germany.
Been there.
Yeah.
Couple times. I picked the Dolphins. I felt like when I watched them play last week, the Kansas City, something ain't right. Like it was too much.
Yeah.
Something just didn't seem right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. The German crowd, they gonna love this. They literally got the best of the best when it comes to National Football League, especially from the AFC perspective. I think the Dolphins gonna win this one. I think the Kansas City Chiefs gonna come out this thing with a 2-game losing streak. But I don't know. The result of this Kansas City Chiefs teams, who gonna see, you know? But and then, you know, we got a Sunday night game. The Bills versus the Bengals. Back in the jungle, unfortunately.
Right.
What you got?
I'm going with the Bills. Come on, Bills, we need you. Come on.
Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. Right at hot wave. Last week beat San Francisco, and I think now they back at over 500 now, and I think they get ready to take over the North. I think Cincinnati got it. I think Cincinnati got this. I think they got their act together.
Man,
I think they get ready. Okay. They gonna get them. I'm telling you. This team might. I'm telling you. I'm riding that wave. You know, I got the Bengals going to the Super Bowl, so. I'm gonna ride my little Cincinnati Bengals. Even when they were like 2-4, I was like, "Yeah, we still gonna make it." And they gonna play, because last week was the Super Bowl preview. Last week was Super Bowl preview with the Bills.
You still believe in the 49ers?
49ers. The 49ers. Yeah, they're going to win. They're going to beat the Eagles.
I think they done figured out Purdy, B. I think Purdy look a little uncomfortable back there now, man.
Trust me. I don't care if it's in San Francisco, Philadelphia, in a parking lot down the street at the Cary Street Gym, VCU, wherever. The 49ers gonna beat the mess out of it. They gonna beat the Eagles, man. Like the Eagles can get got, yo. The Eagles, man, they ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Now you look at that line, man, you gonna have Nick Bosa on one end, Chase Young on the other. Did they get a healthy Trent Williams back? They get Debo back healthy. Christian McCaffrey, if they're at full strength, you can cancel Christmas. It's a wrap. Like, because they got the guys. Because that's how they lost. Hell, if me and you would have been the quarterback for San Francisco 49ers, we would have won the Super Bowl. Straight up. That's all they needed was a quarterback. It was hurt. I got a noodle arm, and I would have won that game in the link. You know?
I got you. I hear you.
My little middle-aged noodle arm. I would have got that thing. I would have won that thing for the.
I'm just looking at Purdy. I'm looking at Brock Purdy now, and I'm like, man, he don't look like the same. But you know, hey, you. Yeah,
but that's good though. No, it ain't. No, I'm just saying. he a system quarterback, and I think what people fail to realize, he's still a 7th-round pick.
Right.
Like, he's a system quarterback. If he just got to play within the system. So, this whole thing of, oh well, we need to sign into a long-term deal. No, win a ring first, fool. Like, you don't want to sign a 7th-round pick to a massive quarterback deal, and all he did was win you like 13 straight games. He need to win a Super Bowl. He need to be at least Super Bowl MVP before I give him that kind of money.
Right.
And that'd be the problem. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. But yeah, man, he's a system quarterback. He within the system. I tell you, dude, Cal Shanahan have us having MVP numbers. I'd be over there like Patrick Mahomes, and I'm damn near almost 40.
Right.
You feel me? But,
Hey, man. Hey, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So, yeah, man. So we do our pick 6. So we gotta go into our game ball. Who gets to his game ball? Who you got?
This is a little different than I'm giving a game ball to my buddy Kenji. It's a little different than usual. Well, Kenji had a pit bull years ago that kind of represented a friend of his that passed away. Their birthdays was kind of like near each other or something like that. Well, Kenji got a phone call because he's in Woodbridge. He got a phone call from South Carolina, and it was from an the pound or something like that. And he didn't know what it was, so he called his mom. His mother went up, and he has not seen this dog in 3 years. And they actually gave the dog to somebody else because Kenji couldn't keep it where he was staying at. It's been 3 years. Where the lady called and said that she'd been seeing this dog walk around, and he's been sleeping in the graveyard since October 17th. So now Kenji's going to be able to get his dog back. So I just thought that was, and it kind of made his day because he'd been missing his dog. He said he'd been seeing things pertaining to it. So I told him I'd give him the game ball on the show. You know what I mean? Because that's actually kind of big, man. He was kind of hurt. Like, it was really good. It's a really good dog. Like, and he said he put like a metal detector or something on, or a metal piece on it. And anytime the dog was lost, that eventually it could be found. You know what I mean? He hasn't seen the dog in 3 years.
Yeah, so mine's
right.
So, and to me, as a Carolina fan, I know sometimes it's sacrilegious to give a game ball to any of your research triangle brethren. But I gotta give mine to Dan Doran. Dan Doran is the head coach of NC State football team. So, Steve Smith was a guest picker on College Game Day when they were in Utah, and so they did picks. So NC State was going against Clemson. So Steve Smith said, "Hey, I'm gonna go with Clemson because NC State all they worrying about is basketball. In other words, trying to say that they suck. So NC State won that football game by the final score of 24-17. And Dan Doran, he talked his stuff. He said, and I quote, "This ain't a basketball school. He can kiss my ass." So huge shout out to Dan Doran sticking out your chest and saying, you know what, this ain't a basketball school. So huge shout out to him. And I know it took a lot. It took a lot of guts for me to give an NC State guy some credit. But hey, Dan Doran, when you say something like that, you'll get the game ball every week and 2 times on Sundays.
Word. So I got to get a game ball to somebody else that I forgot about. Game ball goes to Chris Couch Coach Powell because I forgot that it was his birthday last week, and he got to do something extremely special. And if I can, could you tell some of the couch coaches about what you did last week? I was posting up a bunch of stuff that you were doing something great.
Yeah, so Thursday, I was at the A10 Women's Media Day. I know we talked about what's the men's one 2 weeks ago. So the women's one, it was at the Henrico Sports and Event Center. That's going to be the home of the A10 Women's Tournament in March. This is a new facility. If you're familiar with the Richmond area, it's pretty much in the where Virginia's in the Commons Mall used to be at. So it's in that facility. Great opportunity. I was able to interview. I think I interviewed 11 of the 15 coaches.
Mm.
there, and so definitely huge shout out. And then I was able to talk to the director of the project, Dennis Bigmeyer. So definitely huge shout out to them.
Right.
Everybody at HSE, Drew Dickinson, 18, all those guys, a lot of, people, was able to catch up with a lot of people at 18, Brass and all that.
Right.
And then Saturday, was able to go back home to Highland Springs High School and cover Highland Springs versus Verona. It was a great feeling. It's funny, going to it, got there a little early, kind of soak it all in. Seeing former classmates, as far as my class 2002 people, seeing some people from from Highland Springs, and being able to see. And it's funny because it was senior night, so it was crazy to see some of the people I went to school with are now parents of these seniors, the class 2024. So huge shout out to them. It was just a great experience. Able to catch that game on the sidelines. Definitely. Some of my classmates, on the staff at Highland Springs, definitely was able to chop it up with Coach Charity, Coach Bell, and Coach Anderson. So definitely huge shout out to my guys there. And then shout out to the AD, Harry Daniel, another Springer alum, class 2008. Went on to the University of Richmond, did his thing there, and now he's the AD at Highland Springs, and definitely appreciate that opportunity. And it was fun, man. It was really fun. So I don't know, maybe in 2024 or some more opportunities may present itself in these next few weeks. Because obviously, Highland Springs will be in the playoffs, so it was fun. It was good, and it's funny that thing where even at going back Highland Springs, I haven't been back since like 2021. So they had because obviously the new school opened up in 2021. So they had a program where that you can buy a brick. I don't know if you ever go, like, sometimes schools and they have like bricks.
Right.
So that was the first time I was able to see like the brick that I purchased 2 years ago. So it was good. And of course, it had my name. Then my nickname Couch Coach in class 2002. So, and that was nickname that actually was birthed at Highland Springs. One of my childhood friends, my guy Quentin, actually gave me that name. So it was kind of cool to have that full circle moment, and that's where essentially kind of the dream of all type of stuff kind of was at Highland Springs High School, even though it wasn't in that building per se, but it was in that same, it was in that same area. But obviously it was the older school, but
icon, future icon, future legend of Richmond, Mr. Chris Calco Powell. Hey man, telling you, all you got to do is you gonna be part of the culture. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. But it was fun. It was, it's just great, to have these type of opportunities, and and it's and to started kind of put my footprints, just in the area and different things that as well. So it was a hell of a weekend. It was really fun to cover those events.
You're gonna be doing sports on Channel 12 or something like Channel 8. What's that pizza Italian restaurant we went to? What we used to do show at?
Ironclad.
Yeah, Ironclad. We're like, man, he used to come here and do his radio show, man.
And it's funny to shout out to Ironclad because because now, because I think, because Rob, I think he's still like ownership's there, but I think he kind of sold, like, I don't know, sold, but he got like other people running the restaurant and stuff. So so I was like, so shout out to Ironclad, the ones who gave us a shot initially,
right.
To do the live remotes, and that's one thing where that was another thing that was birthed from from Lexi and that radio, where seeing that vision and seeing other shows, at the time, Marcus J doing his shows at the time, Brewers Cafe, was it Twilight the Dark? They did a show at I think at Brewers as well too. So having that vision, then say, hey, we gonna do some on in Blackwell as well. So we just a little bit down the street, but we kind of had that same vision. We did our thing.
It was kind of smart that he told us that we all needed to do one live outside the studio. You know what I mean? That was kind of smart to make you get out of your shell to have to try to do it.
And that's another one where even like with the A10 thing, because doing it like that, because those were like, I didn't edit those. Those like
Right.
straight interview, quick,
Right.
fast. It's like, okay, I'm at the table, they coming. So it's like, okay, be ready, pressure cord, make sure your
Right.
mic on, make sure the thing here blue. Look at your
Right.
fan. Is it blue? You
Right.
go.
Right.
So
Right. That's what's
yeah,
up, man.
so yeah, it was great, man.
That's what's up.
It was a fun experience. It definitely cannot wait. To get down there in March for the tournament. That's gonna be so
Right.
much fun, and it's such a beautiful facility, and it's gonna be fun.
Right. Right.
I'm just glad to have and also too just to be a part of it, especially what they're doing in Henrico Sports and Event Center. They also have so many different tournaments. They just did something with Sportable, and they're gonna have a high school tournament right after Christmas. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff going on there, and you know, so
Congrats, B.
yeah. Thanks,
Word,
man.
man.
Thanks. Definitely
Word.
appreciate it.
Word.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. That's one thing too, and
Living the dream.
everything happen. Yeah, and that's one thing too. Hey, you just never know. I mean, that's one thing about everything at hand. Hey, what was a dinner napkin idea, and it morphed into this.
Right.
So yeah, it's sometimes it's surreal at times. Sometimes like they actually sit down and reflect on it. It is kind of like, wow, that did happen.
I was doing that today, thinking about the show. So, and then I was thinking about, actually doing the game by what I just did. I was going to do it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first started, though, and then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I remember going to Ironclad and you couldn't reverse park. And then I remember
Oh yeah.
you going on the road, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then, like, just
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, like, we were together and how it was in the beginning, and then eventually you did it on your own, and then you was able to drive like you want to. Now you can parallel park, like you do all. You know what I'm saying? It's all
Yeah.
confidence,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, look how far we done came. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Crazy.
It is something. It is definitely something. Like how
Mm-hmm.
things have morphed into what they are current day.
Right.
Yeah. It is a trip. It is definitely a trip, to say the least.
Right.
For
When I knew
sure.
you probably thought you was probably gonna be working at Coke or or
The
CVS your whole
pharmacy.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CVS your whole life. And I'm thinking I probably was working at Food Life for the rest of my life. Like, man, I got to do something else. And like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And look where we
For
at
sure.
now.
Yeah. And even back then, even doing this, and that's crazy because like all of it too. And even when I was at Coke, that's when I really start doing it
Right.
in a sense. And now you think, at all this and yeah, because it really kind of started for me in 2011. Strangely enough, that's when it really started.
Right.
So yeah, yep, and
Right.
so many full circle moments. I mean, it's so crazy.
Right.
I think it's I always think it's full circle, but it's so many different circles between the Highland Springs angle. Then the first studio I ever did a show at, I live right literally a stone's throw away from it, and it's
Right.
weird. It's
Right.
like where your path go. It's crazy how you see something 12 years ago, almost 13
Right.
years ago, and now you're almost back in that same spot,
Bro,
but in a better
brother,
way.
your
But
brother
yeah,
Maui told you. I said, man, I
yeah,
see you covering all these colleges. I see you covering high school, and I said, man, you're gonna be like a household name. They're gonna know who Couch Coach Live is. They're gonna automatically say, oh yeah, that's Chris. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He come here and get his sandwich and his he come out all the time, get his sandwich, his drinks, man. He just walked up the road, like, you know what I mean? That's what's up.
Yeah,
That's what's up,
yeah, man. And just just to continue to work, and I think that thing about me, like, hey, just continue to work, continue to do my thing.
Right, right.
Yep, for
Well,
sure. Yeah, yeah, yep, and
man.
we got it. Yep, and then basketball season is here, so that'll be
Mhm.
another thing where that'll be
And we about to
constant
see
grind.
something new. That's what's crazy. We about to see something new. We about to see a tournament in a week. And we still
Yeah,
don't have a clue what it is. So everybody's about to watch. We don't have a
and
clue what it
and
is.
and then what's killing me is these courts. So I'm like, okay, so you only gonna have these courts on. I'm assuming Friday and Tuesday nights. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm a part of this running crew, like I'm gonna have to do this for like twice a week for like a month. Hell no. How much you paying me to change this court twice?
Sure they paying well.
So if we got a game on Tuesday, we got to put this court up. Then what if we got a back to back? I got to change that again, and then you got a game on Friday. I'm like, so I might have to change that court twice in 3 days.
I got a question. Nope. I got a question. What do you think about this the FBI investigation into the NBA about the Big Three?
That's muddy. That's gonna be. I tell you, I don't care what nobody say. That Ice Cube, if somebody playing with fire, he got the fire resistant gloves on. He courageous. I'll be real with you. Like, I mean, it's some validity to
that. If
you
didn't see your face, you said, ooh, that's muddy. And you know what's weird? He said, I'm going on a, you know what it is though? Because he see The Rock saying that I'm taking the XFL, and I went to the NFL and say, I'm not trying to go against you guys. I'm trying to work with you guys. You know how many XFL players is playing in the NFL right now?
Right.
So why would you not? And the players that play in the Big Three is the ones that want to play in the NBA, and all they doing is really trying to keep themselves in shape.
And they retired. Most of them retired.
Most of them retired. Right.
Okay, you want to keep ISO Joe? Like, he's like 42 years old. You want him to be back in the league? Like,
stupid.
I'm serious.
The other thing is, like Gil said, he was talking about legends, which was a good take. You know what I'm saying? But he right. Why ain't Dr. J a coach or on a coaching staff? Why ain't, you know what I'm saying, Gary Payton on a coaching staff? He right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they can only do that in the Big Three though.
They only letting them do it in the Big Three. Right. You know what I'm saying?
He playing with fire. I just hope he don't get burnt.
It look like to me, if the FBI is investigating, ain't got nothing to do with him.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm just saying,
what they should do.
Ain't got nothing to do with him, but it's still the things with him.
They should shut it down, have a conversation with him, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than really, that's all he's saying. Stop beef. I'm not trying to beef with you. I'm trying to work with you. You know what I mean? Y'all do not own basketball. That's really what he's saying too. Y'all don't own basketball. Y'all just a league. Basketball,
I don't know, and that's one thing. And it's just like, that's why, like, I don't understand why that he's seen it's a threat. That's what I get confused about, because a part of me is like, now I can understand if he was stealing, like, current, like, as far as like LeBron, like if he was like borrowing LeBron James for a week for the summer. All right, I'm like, look, you run the risk of my star player getting hurt during the summer. I get that, like, but the same thing, like, even, but they don't do nothing like when them guys be in the Drew League and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know.
Right. So he said they stopping sponsorship that want to work with them. They also stopping ownership. Like owners that come, they want to own some teams, and they stopping players that want to have some ownership. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that's murky. Like, and that's one thing where I'm just like, I don't see why they trying to play dirty. The NBA trying to play dirty, but I don't know. But I don't know. It kind of make you wonder. Like, it's when there's smoke, there's some fire. And definitely, like you said, if the FBI involvement, it's definitely some fire involved.
Right.
We're gonna find out though. That's the thing about the situation. I'm just like,
because I'm gonna tell you the truth. I was sitting here thinking to myself, like, let's say if they work together, man, they can have the Big Three at All-Star Weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it could be like one of the events.
Yeah, like it could be one of the events. Like, you really can. it's a lot of stuff you could do if y'all just work together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could have
Yeah.
one of the games where you could have big three players and FIBA players come over, and it's not
Yeah.
necessarily about, you know what I'm saying. It's just promote all basketball. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's a lot of stuff you can do. They got to open. They a lot of this stuff, college football, all this stuff, man. They got to really grow up and start merging together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Give us
man.
value for our dollar.
They're the gatekeepers, man. They ain't open that gate for y'all.
Right.
He said, "True, forget that." And like, I ain't open no gate for y'all. But just like what you're looking at, like with the like with the USFL and the XFL, you see how they merge because
Right.
all they're gonna do is gonna take each other out of the business.
Right.
Because one gonna have to. So why we both just can't just be with this be and have this joint venture.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know, man. And that just seemed like something that the NBA would do in a sense, anyway, too. And I don't get it because it doesn't interfere with anything.
That's what I thought they were too. So it's probably a reason why there's an investigation. It's probably somebody in there doing something they're not supposed to do, or a scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because to me, it just don't make any sense of why the NBA would be resistant to this. Because it really doesn't have nothing to do with them. I mean, the only thing that's similar is they playing basketball.
Somebody said that's why they put so much emphasis now on the summer league because of the big three.
But that's another one. It's like, but you're going against guys that already has retired. They're playing half court basketball, like,
right.
And that's the reason why they can only play half court basketball, like. I'm just saying, from a physical fitness standpoint, we can't be. We old now. We can't be playing no full court basketball in the summer. We only played at 50.
And they playing half court too, because obviously they bring the ball in, take two dribbles, and shoot like a 4-pointer.
Of course. And we going and he lucky he pressing it going to 50.
I'll be like this, hey man, we play tips.
Shit. Well, I like when the halftime. Ooh, let me sit down.
They lucky LeBron is not a butthead and say, "Hey, I'm retired," and then go play with the big three.
God, yo, oh my God, dude, that'd be worse than a decision.
But Ice Cube, look at his chops, man.
I want to live to see that. I would love to see that. That would be so funny. And be like, oh my God, dude, yeah, protests.
I remember that was one thing that Ice Cube was pushing, man. He was trying to get Kobe, and he was like, Kobe said, "I ain't playing no more," but I think Kobe was gonna slip into it because he started seeing certain dudes that was playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would have been big if he would have been, because he got Iverson. He got a little buzz, but we know that Iverson was like, "Man, I'm in Vegas, man. I'm sipping and gambling."
That man missed a flight every week.
He looked like David Ruffin in the Temptations when he was like, "I missed another show."
That's man said, "Look, yo."
But
nobody coming here.
Hey, no, I know who would do it. James Harden said, "I'm leaving the NBA. I'm going to the big three."
I'd be like, no.
He make 85 points a game.
Right. He'd be going like to the trilogy or whatever. No. Hell no. Nope. You're not allowed in no bad league. The way that man is, I'm like, man, no.
Man, I ain't never seen somebody get so much. And you know what? I hate saying this, but they always talking about Bron. But man, Westbrook and Harden get whatever they want, man. God,
yeah, man. And it's so weird because like it's just funny like how they can just like. That's the thing where I hate that. I think one day we're gonna look at LeBron as the guy who fostered this player movement activity, like movement. Mm-hmm. But in his case, he's done it a lot more responsible. Some things he may have done is a little questionable, but he didn't do stuff like, well, I'm not playing. I'm not, I'm going to just sit out and, and it's BS. He, when he did, when he does stuff, he goes all out. He go hard for the team. But they just be like, oh, I'm not playing today because I got a jammed finger.
Right. Right. No,
So,
for real. Right.
Yeah. And that's why I hope like there'll be if we deem him as the king of player empowerment, we need to have some context followed by that.
And I don't mind them leaving because,
give
you example. Look at what just happened to Dame. Dame didn't want to go nowhere.
Yeah.
Dame didn't want to go nowhere, man. And then look where, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have and he was the main one talking about he didn't want to go nowhere. What's my man? What's my man that just got traded from the Bucks?
Jrue Holiday.
He didn't want to leave the Bucks. He didn't want to leave. He literally said, "I don't want to leave." Yeah. And then they traded him. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because you can stay somewhere, but then they don't want you to stay. Like same with Dame, because Dame should have had the opportunity to retire as one, but he, obviously he's not. But
right.
But yeah, man, it's something. But yeah, man. So and they are president at VP, and then get Angel Reese. So that's a definitely.
Hey man, do me a favor. Go hire Joe Smith. He needs some help. Oh, my bad.
Nah, dude, he know what he was doing.
No, I'm saying financially. Go hire him.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, yeah.
Financially, he need a job or something, man. Go ahead.
I'm just like, dude, that gotta be a skill. It's not like she in that industry, and then you wonder why she had an OnlyFans. I'm like, that's just like an artist and having a DVD. I mean, having a CD or having a mixtape. That's like okay, I'm a rapper and I got a mixtape. Duh. Like, it's crazy.
Hey man, I'm hearing she make more money than you. If there ever was a time to divorce, this is it. She make more money than you. She's telling you that you work for her.
Exactly.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Now time to put that paperwork in and dip on out.
You better get the alimony like Sheldon Williams.
I'm telling you, she was a female. Her aunties, homegirls, aunties, all of them telling them, "Girl, this the time to leave." Like, you know what I'm saying?
This is the best time, yo.
Yo, get out of there now. Cause trust me,
sure.
If she doing good on OnlyFans, it's because of her name. Had me looking like booty. BT talk.
But I know,
right? I was like, I don't remember her. I said, and I was like, oh man.
After doing some thorough research,
yeah, I was like, oh man, anybody. She was one of the ones you skipped over or fast forward.
Yeah, well, we had to do some investigative research.
We had to find out,
figure out. For research purposes.
It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling you. And he just married her too. What 2018 or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, but and that's one thing too. Hey, as quasi journalists, hey, we had to investigate. So it is what it is. So put a poll on tonight's Couch Coach Live, man. Social media and where they can find you and upcoming project. What you got going on?
Sean Morgan, Facebook and DT Morgan 78 Instagram. Chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Website, couchcoachlive.com. Yep. Also, social media, Couch Coach Live, pretty much Facebook, X, YouTube, Couch Coach Live. Yeah, man. So, yeah. So, we'll put a bow on tonight's Couch Coach Live, man. We'll catch you guys next week. And we're out.
Welcome.